today is a good afternoon. So today's glorious instalment, we are talking about accents, mine, and some of the entertaining things that have happened with it. So you would think in today's international age with internet access and all the rest of it, that understanding an accent is an easy thing. I have lived here, as I've mentioned in the past, some 16 odd years now, 16 and a half years now. And even to this day, it still never ceases to amaze me of some of the responses that I receive when I say my name, when I ask for things, when you deal with people on the phone. A couple of instances where I've dealt with people in a service type arena and had, shall we say, an interesting response. So my name is Dave, or David, but you wouldn't think that I had toffees in my mouth or was sucking on a hard-boiled sweet or something. So Dave, D-A-V-E, not really difficult. David, D-A-V-I-D. However, I have had almost Dove, that's a strange name, Dive, so I'm suspecting they've added the I in there somewhere, D-I-A-V-E. I was on the phone recently, a company in the US called Supercuts, one of the local Supercuts, going to get a haircut, you know, can't become a long-haired hippie and all that. And I'm known there. This is not the first time I've ever been there, so they have my details and they ask for your phone number and they plug it into the computer and they see the name. And they have one particular woman there who, I don't know, maybe it was a bad connection, maybe I was feeling pedantic, maybe she wasn't clear, I had a blocked nose, or whatever. She just could not get my name. Okay, Mike, we'll put you down. Yes, Mike. She called me Mike. Kind of entertaining, kind of worrying really, but anyway. And then this leads on to asking for things. So, you know, you go into a store and say, I'll have some of that and some of this and some of the other, and they plop it down, you pay your money and you leave. It's fantastic. Well, it doesn't always work that way. Darien Lake. And one particular trip there a number of years ago, there's a place in there that does fried chicken, somewhere in the middle, and we decided to stop for lunch. Poor kid behind the counter who was taking the order, I asked for a bottle of water. It sounded perfectly reasonable to me, and he asked me again, sorry, what did you say? And I said, I'll have a bottle of water, please. And he looked at me blankly and he asked me again, third time, he was a good chap about it, with a bottle of water. He gave up in the end. My wife is standing to my left, and he looked at her, and she said the same thing. She asked for a bottle of water, and he went, oh, a bottle of water. But that's not the only time that's happened to us. So there's a theatre downtown called Shays, and they were doing a wine and cheese event. We went downtown, and it was, you know, reasonably pleasant. I hadn't seen inside of Shays for a while, and there's a woman of not college age, and I asked for the same again, bottle of water. And she looked at me blankly. And I'm looking at this woman going, no, not again. You cannot not understand what I've just asked you for. And in the end I went, okay, we'll go this a different direction. I'd like a bottle of H2O, please. And she went, oh, a bottle of water. Here you go, sir. And away we went. So a couple of things about the accent. So every once in a while in business meetings or whatever else, somebody pipes up and says, oh, I love listening to you talk. You sound so clever. Or it sounds so official. I have a British accent, and in fact, actually, I have a London accent, and into that end, I have an East London accent. A place called Walthamstow was where I was brought up. And in the years since I realised this, I have tried to garner what they call a BBC accent. It's kind of not one place or another, and so it should be easily understood by anybody within the country. So I've had a number of locations asked of me for where my accent has come from, and some of it is understandable because I also twang some other things in there occasionally, and some of it you just stop and look at these people and go. So I've been asked if I'm Canadian, I've been asked if I'm from South Africa, I've been asked New Zealand, and I've been asked Australia. I can kind of get the Australian because every once in a while I'll throw in a few of those. And every once in a while, in fairness, you do get that one person that says, British accent, London, or, whereabouts, and they'll ask you that. Going back to something I'd said earlier, there are two instances that stand out in my mind. We had gone out one night to a local ice cream place called Alethea. Opened my mouth and out came, "I'll have one of these, please." And I don't quite know why, but suddenly she stopped, her eyes went bright. "Is that your real accent?" And I looked at this girl and I'm like, "No, I practiced very hard and I'm actually from the deep south." "Yeah, it's mine. I've had this for quite some time." "Oh, I love your accent, blah, blah, blah." I was born and raised with it. It's probably losing a little bit living here, but it's mine. And actually to that, one particular last trip, one of the trips recently I went on, I actually took a moment and asked. We were having a family gathering. I sat in the bar in the evening with my mother, and I said, some people had suggested that I'm having an American accent. What do you think? And she said, "Well, when you first arrived, there was a certain tinge to it. You sounded a little different. But now that you've been here a while, no, you sound exactly like you used to." But if you think about it, you listen to the same thing every day. So I listen to the accent of this area. I mean, it's a very twang, nasally type accent, and I hear that. And after a while, you have to believe that certain amounts of it creep in. I will also say there have been trips when I've gone back to the UK where British accent does sound like they're speaking with plums. And then, of course, you stop listening for the accent and start hearing the words. Going about normal daily business, back in the service realm, actually we were in a supermarket. We have a local supermarket called Tops. There are a couple, the two big ones in this area are Tops and Wegmans. We go to Tops and we buy our weeklies and all that kind of idea. We go grocery shopping, as they say here. And so again, the local Tops, this area has a fairly large university, so many of the students try and find Saturday jobs or part-time jobs, whatever, get a little money while they're studying. So we had stacked our stuff and it was coming through, and I don't remember what we were talking about, and I was saying something to the wife, and this girl stopped and looked at me and went, "What part of New Jersey are you from?" And the wife and I stopped and we looked at each other and we looked at her, and I went, "Somewhat northeast of New Jersey, like about 4,000 miles away from," it's actually 3.5, but you know what I mean, "New Jersey. I'm from London." "Oh, London. Oh, you sounded like you're from New Jersey." Good lady wife usually finds these amusing. She's like, "Oh, you're some form of star. Everybody wants to talk to you, blah, blah, blah." Not star. This is my nearest to it. But it's quite interesting. And then we went back to as I may have mentioned in previous videos, we went back to the UK at Christmas 2016. So we'd had some time. We'd gone to Liverpool, we'd gone to Manchester, who do have their very own regional accents, and if you find one, it's very entertaining to listen to, and I've joked about those in the past. And then we went to a smaller town called Chester, and she had found a Godiva place or something, and gone in for a hot chocolate. It was like a woman behind the till actually went, "Oh, I love your accent. We don't get many foreign accents in here. Where are you from? Tell us about it." And my good lady wife got a taste of what it's like to be on the receiving end. And as much as I sound like I'm moaning about it, it's actually quite nice. And it is, I'm not really an attention seeker, so it is quite nice when someone stops and asks you, and it does, brush the ego just a little bit to have someone stop and ask you about it. That's really all for now. So, as usual, if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up mark and hit subscribe if you've stumbled across this. And if you didn't like it, tell me why. If you have some thoughts or not, And also, as always, if there's anything you want to ask me, hashtag Ask Uncle Dave. I'll put the comment up, or I don't know, somewhere there or here or wherever I can find it, and we'll get some questions going. So with that, I'll bid you adieu, or nasty French stuff, and arrivederci. Toodles.